Still waiting for those on YouTube to connect and then we'll get started. They are connected. Good morning on YouTube. I hope you're all fine. I greet you this morning. My name is Life Coach Vimbai Chiwuswa here on Vini on One radio station. I'm connected on Facebook and on YouTube. I hope you are all really well. This Thursday morning and this afternoon, it's already afternoon. So here in the UK, it's afternoon. So I hope wherever you are. Okay, so today's session is session 22, episode 22, so to say, and we are dealing with managing the work balance, so work-life balance, and we will look also at stress management. That's our topic today. Why is it important? It is important because, like if it's not managed well, if the work and life balance is not managed well, chaos in the life of somebody will be the result. So that's what we are dealing with today to say, how can we solve this chaos? How can we try and help? How can we help ourselves? Remember, in the sessions that I do, we always say, you, the one who's listening, you look at yourself and try and sort your life. How can you help yourself? This is what we're talking about. You're not waiting for somebody from somewhere to come and tell you that your life is not in order, but you are yourself, you're looking into what is it that you're doing, and then try and see how you can help yourself. Okay? Hello, Trusty, you're welcome. Good morning, good afternoon, depending on where you are. Okay, so we have, I will start with 4 points that you have to look at to try and sort yourself to check if you are already one of those who is already affected in one way or the other, so that at least you know what to look out for. Yeah. Okay. So the starting point is fatigue. With fatigue, I mean, when you are tired, when your ability to work properly is not, you are not your proper self, right? You are working, but you are not functioning properly because you are just too tired to do anything. Whether you've been doing something, whether you haven't been doing anything, you just feel, like chronically tired, right? Then just know that, something is not right somewhere. You have to sit down and reflect and think, what can it be? And try and sort it out. So that's the starting point, like this chronic tiredness, like this just continuous tiredness. Why it affects you? You might make big mistakes and small mistakes in your workplace that can affect your productivity or even get you sent out of your work, or even get mistakes that can hurt somebody's life. All right. And you mistakes can be costly in that, you make one silly mistake and then you end up like maybe closing the whole company, or having to pay enormous fees, or having to pay enormous compensation on people because you were just too tired to concentrate on that particular day, and then a big mistake happens. Okay, so that's one thing to look out for. And then there is poor health. There are some diseases that happen because of whatever happens before. That's a different case. But there is this other kind of sickness that just comes up from nowhere. They can't find the real source of it. They can't find what is causing it, or why is it happening. And you even go to the hospitals, they will check and they'll tell you that everything seems fine, right? But you know yourself, you are not right, and you can't pinpoint where is this thing coming from. So poor health can also be a symptom that your life is not well balanced and it should. Okay, so you need to be on the lookout to say, okay, what's going on there? What can I do to help myself? All right. Okay, and then that's what we're saying. This sick, poor health, that is caused by stress. It will start like the head, the back, the legs, everything about you, its body is hurting, but you didn't do any heavy lifting. So watch out for that one. Okay, and then you find yourself, you don't have time for your family, you don't have time for your friends, you don't have time for your loved ones. You are just too busy doing whatever God knows what you're doing, whether it's your work and it's just like work, 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 work. Yeah, and the family is like, but we need you at home as well. It can be all, you don't have time for anybody, but all you're doing is work, 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 and work. That means your life is not balanced. because you should have your family there, they need you, and you should have like your life, your work, right? Even if you, let's say you don't have a family and you happen to be this one person in the world, you still need that time to regain your energy. You need that time to relax. You need that time to go out there and do whatever you that is that you do. Okay, so if you see all you are now just doing is working, then just know something is terribly wrong and you need to act like really fast to sort it out. Okay, the next point is what will become the problem is increased expectations. I always said like expectations, we should have high expectations for ourselves to be able to move on. But like now, what I'm talking about is these crazy expectations that you are chasing, but actually you can't really afford them, right? Because at that particular moment, your funds are not enough for that. Like you find yourself, you are getting into more and more debt so that you can kind of manage to keep this lifestyle that you are trying to, like you're trying to hold on to. Then there is a problem there, right? What I'm talking about is, you said instead of you going to buy a nice car that is according to your level, right? At that particular moment, right? You are going to buy this huge car with the money that you don't even have, and the money that you won't be even able to have in the next whatever years, right? You start trying to live this fake lifestyle that is not according to your abilities. That's what I'm talking about. These, like where you have to fake things, like get yourself into that so that you kind of maintain this kind of lifestyle that is not, like according to your financial capabilities. That is what I'm talking about with this increased expectations that are unrealistic for you as well. Okay, so if we check your life, like now, being honest to yourself to say, when I'm looking at myself, are these 4 points affecting me somehow? Do they touch me somehow? If they do, then you have something to look at. Fatigue, poor health, loss of time for friends and loved ones, and see these crazily high, increase the expectations of lifetime. Okay, if you know that they are no, you see that like while you do your check, like your reflection and check of yourself, then like you need to do something. Okay, so then that brings us to the next point where we say, so when we know that, what do we do about it? We have seen we have a problem. Okay, problems do happen. So what do we do now? So the next thing that we're supposed to do now will be to set limits to what can we do and how can we live ourselves? How can we manage our day to day? Okay, so this starting point in this case will be to manage our time. That's the first one, right? When we manage our time, that will give us, say, like, okay, how do we do it? We cut and delegate activities. In this case, there are some activities that are must do, but I don't enjoy them. There are activities that are I don't really have to do them. I can give them to somebody else, like we delegate them. And then there are some activities that they are a must, I have to do them. Then we prioritize them, starting with the mostly like one that I really need, like now, the most important one, scaling them down. Okay. And then there are some active with the colleagues, or let's give them to somebody who really knows what they're doing. Because if we try and force matters, we might mess up. Or we ask the colleagues to help us. Either we can give them away, say like, I know I have to do this, and I know my capabilities, I can't do this. Can you help? Or if that's not the case, then we ask the colleagues to help us. Okay, so that means let's not be shy to get help where help is needed. Okay, so that would be that. So that by managing our time, it allows us to leave enough time or to take enough time to do things that we are supposed to do and do things that we do them properly. Whatever we have left on our desk, then we have to do it properly, and that way it gives us also time to do other things. All right. Okay, so this also applies home and at work, because we said like we are talking of work and life balance. Because home, like life at home, like for those who are not employed outside but work from home or work at home, like they know that's also a job. You have to also sort out your calendar or sort out your duties, what you have to do. Okay, good. So that will be that. on managing your time. That's very important. So when we have managed our time, right, then we know what we are supposed to do. Then we make a list to say, okay, what am I supposed to do, and which ones, with in which order, and what exactly. So you have your list to say, like, okay, I have to start with this, start with that, start with that. And as you are going through them, what you have managed to tick, and then you know it's done, or you cancel it out, then you know it's done, it's sorted, right? And you continue doing like that until you finish. So you can plan your day before you get into it. You can do this either weekly, and then during the week you just know, like, add on smaller things, right? Or major plans, of all the major plans, you know when they're supposed to be done. You have a diary, you know, you have your times in, you don't, so that you don't forget anything. This applies home and work as well. Because if you just concentrate on your home, on your work at home, you will forget the birthday days at home, you forget the anniversaries, you forget, like, children need to go for clubs and sports and tournaments, and you'll be in trouble at home. Same applies at work. If you forget to put things in your calendar or in writing lists, what you're supposed to do every day at work, you will find you will miss out appointments, you will miss out deadlines, and you will miss out important events as well. And that will not give you that will not leave you on the good light. You will be in trouble with because of that. So both lists are needed, home and at work. Okay, so that will be that. So we have done that one. We have to learn to say no. Yeah, with when I'm saying no, I mean people will come to you and say, you know what, may you please help me do this. If you see that your desk is full, your list is full, there is no space, and you really can't, please learn to say no nicely. Like, you don't have you have to be polite and just tell the person, you know what, at the moment you have enough of your own backlog, so you can't help. Right? It's not about you trying to make noise about anything, but you are being honest and genuine. Because if you take that job and you don't do it, then that's another problem for you as well. Right? Or you take the job and you just rush through it so that you just have done something. That's also another problem. Right? So if you can't do things, learn to say no, right? Because especially if it's extra weight that is not really yours, okay? Then to say no, easy and smart. All right, I know it sounds easily said than done, but you have to practice it. You have to learn it, because otherwise you will find that people will keep on dumping work on you, and then at the end of the day, it looks like you are the one who's not doing your work properly, or you are the one who's not finishing or reaching deadlines, because you are piling things up, things that are not supposed to be on your desk, they are on your desk. Okay, so let's get that one clear on that one. If yeah, or talk to your colleagues and see, okay, at the moment I have enough on my desk, but when once I sort out my desk, I will see how I can help you. And then at least it's not on your desk, they're keeping their work. When you are done with yours, you will go and ask for it. If you don't go, then it means you didn't finish with yours. It ends there. Okay, so that's one tip, that of one for the road. Okay, leave work at work. Did you hear that one? Leave work at work. What we mean here is, you go there, you connect, you do whatever you're doing at work. When you close the door to say, I'm going home, whatever has to do with work, it stays there. You are not taking work with you at home. Of course, I know sometimes we do that to say, like, we have to, like, catch up with deadlines. I have to, like, I've been too busy to be able to do this or that. Problem is, the moment you take work with you at home, when you get home, right? Remember, you've been spending 7 hours or 8 hours or 12 hours or whatever hours at work. Now you are coming home, you are bringing that work with you. So the time you are supposed to be spending with your loved ones or with your family, you are sitting down like, I have to work. So you are already disturbing the balance, because your family is now being deprived of you because of this work. Resent that work, and they will resent you for bringing that work at home. For you to have your peace, work stays at work, and then when you come home, you are the family person, you do the things that you do at home. Same applies with this. If you are, imagine if you would go at work and you take all the home baggage with you. You are trying to work and your lady is calling or your husband is calling. This, the children are calling. This is happening from home, and while you are at work. Will your boss be happy with you for doing that? Will your colleagues be happy with you? Will they have that understanding that, yeah, yes, we know things happen at home. As a one off or two offs here, okay, it can happen. But if it becomes a daily thing, believe me, one way or the other, you will come in, you'll be called in for a meeting to say, you know what, this is not acceptable. When you are here at work, we need you to function, we need you to concentrate on what you're doing. You see, same applies. So that's the same friction that you have if you bring home, work at home. One off may be okay, but better not even to start with it. Then it becomes a habit. Okay. Next point, to reducing stress when you're working, or reducing, like managing your day to day. Reduce internet, your email access. Of course, I know those who work on the offices and they have to look in their emails. You just have to like do your emails, read your emails, access them during the day. But make it a habit to say, you know what, when I'm working on one thing, I concentrate on that one thing. Because those who know, like for those who have like really busy schedules, you are doing something, emails from ping, it's in. Next one, ping, it's in. You haven't even read the second one, the third one is in. Before you even read the third one, the fifth one is in. Before you even, the 20th is in. So if you try to say, like one email comes in, ping, we are busy writing a project, you're working on this one project you're supposed to be concentrating on. Ping, something has come up and you just rush to look what it is. You might end up mixing things big time and messing up things. Okay, so ideally or better would be when you start your day, or put a kind like time blocks where you say, this around this time I'm just looking at my emails, answering what I have to answer, dealing with them, right? So let's say first thing in the morning in the office, you sit down, you give yourself an hour or half an hour to look at your emails, check your calendar, check what's going on. From there, you start doing other things, right, that you're supposed to do. And then give yourself somewhere during the morning another block to where you look at your emails again, sort them out as you should, and then from there you continue doing other things as well. Go back again, check your emails that way. It can help you better. And I always say, if you can, or if you can, you are allowed to do that. Switch off that email notification. One, it's annoying. Two, it is the one that will cause more distraction to you, because each email that is coming in, you will see it fluttering on your screen, and then your eyes will not help it, but have to look what's coming in. If you are waiting for something like, like this email that you are waiting for, okay, you can go in and have a peep and see if the email is in. But otherwise, try and regulate how you look at your emails and how you respond to your emails. Okay, and if you can, like we said, there are some emails that you can delegate to other people to do them, because like other people can do them. Okay, then delegate, but according to your position and what you are supposed to be doing, your kind of work, or your role, or not just think you can just push away things to other people. No, because if you are doing that, you're doing the same thing that we said at the top there, that people should learn to say no. They will also say no to you, and you won't like it. Okay, so take advantage of opportunities that are in your workplace. With this, I mean, like, some workplaces, they have this thing where they are like flexi hours, right? Like, say, I know I have to pick my child for 4:30 from school and take him to a holiday club. But if my work will allow me to say maybe start at 8, right? I can start at 8, and that will give me enough time to do my work, all my normal hours, and go and pick my son and take my child and bring him wherever he's supposed to go. All right. But that is provided there will be somebody at home who will be able to take that child to school, so that I'm not late for my work. Then we have to balance that. So take advantage of that, like that's a flexible hours at work. Take advantage of compressed hours if you have compressed hours at work, or job sharing opportunities, telecommuting if you have that. And if you can schedule, if your schedule can be flexible, see if you can do that. Even better, if you can work less hours. Work less hours also might mean might also mean how do you call that, less money in some cases. In some cases, it doesn't mean anything. You can work less hours for the same money, depending with what you do. right? So plan your calendar, plan around your calendar, and check opportunities that are there. Look around what works for you so that you can balance your private life and your work. Right? Because at the end of the day, these days, I used to say, every have to work really hard to make it in life. I've changed my the way I see things now. Now I say work smart and earn lots. Okay, work smart and work lots and earn lots. So that it depends now with what you are doing and how you are planning your day to make it work for you. Okay, so that would be that on that. Interruptions. Let's say when you are working on this one project, if you can close your door, give yourself maximum concentration. Say like, this is what I'm doing now. Please may you not disturb. And then you do what you're supposed to do. When you finish. And then you could go on to the next topic and continuously that way. Because if you are trying to work and people are continuously talking to you and people are continuously knocking, you might see that you end up not achieving much because you are quite busy. Okay, so make sure like you keep an eye on that. And with commitments, I mentioned a bit earlier on that to say whatever you are taking to say this I will do. The more you pile on your table, it means you're committing yourself to say like I'll do this, I'll do that, I'll do that, I'll do that. If you can shorten some of those commitments, say like okay, there are some things that I can do, right? You do what you can and you do what you should, right? And then the rest of it that you are not able to do on that day, like you remember, you said you have put your priority list. You are working on that as well, according to the importance of things, right? And then you move on to the next day, what you didn't manage, but making sure whatever you have covered, you have like given it all your concentration. Okay, so that will be that on how to set up. This was part of setting up limits. This session was setting up limits to how you should be able to manage your day to day. Okay, because like I said, if you don't manage things properly, managing your time, managing how you do things, you tend to find that you will be everywhere. And while you are everywhere, you might end up achieving nothing, or you might end up doing lots and lots of mistakes. So to avoid that, then make sure that like you have your program set out properly. Excuse me. Okay. So now on our next session now will be caring for yourself. Right. I know we have touched some of these aspects in different videos, so we'll just rush through. We won't have to like really go deep into them. Okay, because like we've mentioned them before. Right. So one important thing when we say care for yourself, we are saying your lifestyle that you're doing, the way you live your life is what affects who you are, what makes how you really work, your productivity, your mood and all that. It depends with how you are handling yourself. So that's why caring for yourself is the most important thing. Remember, you are the one to care for yourself, not to expect other people to come and do what you can do for yourself. Okay? That's why we say caring for yourself is very essential. All right. With caring for yourself, it starts by what you are eating. Make sure you eat a good diet, a balanced diet, right? I'm not saying like eat this or eat that. You know what you eat, whatever that is that you eat. Make sure it's balanced. Of course, we can say money is an issue. Yes, money is an issue. I don't dispute that fact. But in with that money that we have, if you can go to the shops and buy your things or to the market, make sure you try and buy the so-called balanced diet where you have a fruit there, where you have, like your starch, your vitamins, you should have a component of all these different groups of food nutrition that you need so that it becomes balanced. If you just eat one part of it, mind you, it won't work. So it has to be balanced. You know what you eat. If you need to take those supplements to make sure your diet is all right, then by all means go for it. But make sure what you eat better fresh, better home prepared, and better, well prepared food. Okay, and balanced. All right. So enough sleep is needed. Get some time to sleep. Experts say you should get minimum 8 hours sleep or around 8 hours sleep. Then they say like then you have rested. Try and get that. But if you cannot reach the 8 hours, then try and say like when you sleep, get a sound sleep, no disturbances. Switch off anything that will go pee pee while you are sleeping, so that you can really your body can get that time to close, to shut down, and like regenerate, get that energy that you need. Okay, if you don't sleep well, you will be looking like a zombie in the morning, and you won't like it, and nobody will like it raining around you. Okay, so once you wake up with the bed there, you are going to disturb everybody else. All right, and so it will not do you good to wake up tired, right? Or to wake up, as if somebody was chasing you in the night. All right, make time to spend with your life, with your loved ones. Make time for fun. Make time to relax. Make time to play. Be a child once again. I don't know what you do. You know what children do? Children play. So take time to play. Take time to say like yes, even if you're an adult, you can still play. Okay, if you are really shy to go out playing with another, then take your children. If you don't have children, take your nieces. If you don't have nieces, take your neighbor's children and go and play with them. And then you have a very good excuse to run around like a little child and go on the swings and go on the slides, run around after the ball. You play or even play hide and seek. Right. So take time to have fun, take time to play, take time to dance crazy. If nobody's looking or if you are shy, so you close the windows and put that volume up and dance and do something with your life, not just waiting, right? That will help you. That will help you. Like if you don't know, if you are run short of ideas, just think of it. What is it that you always wanted to do as a child? And try that. Even as an adult, you can still try new things. All right, then like you can take, if you don't really have an idea how to do things, then go take new take classes. There is almost a class for anything now, be it cooking, be it dancing, be it even hiking, be it like swimming, be it like all these games. There are classes for everything. So go and take your class. So there's no excuse to say I can't do this because I can't. Just take the time out to do whatever you want to do. Okay, next point will be volunteering. I know it sounds weird for some people who have never done it or thought about it. Volunteering is quite rewarding. You are giving your time, like your expensive time, to help somebody who's less fortunate than you or than your own family. It can be, like helping in school, or you can look at what is it that you do best, and then take time to offer that same service for free to people who need it. There are some people who need that service, exactly that service that you do, but they can't afford it. So if you can do that. Or if you have run short of ideas, you can go and help in schools, you can go and help in charity care homes or charity organizations. If you are an organizer, you are the manager in your company. There are so many charities that need organization skills, organization personalities, but they can't afford them. So if you go there, you can offer them your 1 hour service, and then you try and organize things around for them. If you say like, no, that is just something else, when you free time, you need to relax, then go and organize, go with children on trips, go with children on the playground, like, like they're disabled children or they are children from unfortunate families. They are seniors in our society who've got nobody caring for them. So there is so much you can do voluntary. So you decide what is it that you do. If you have never tried it, even if you say, I want to try it for just 1 day, 1 hour, just look around where you are to say, where can I help? Where can my services be? Remember, for your services, you won't be paid, right? Because these people need your help, right? And they can't pay you. So you are going there to give your time and even give your resources, whatever you have, and help out. Sometimes it's not just a thing of splashing money around. It's a thing about you being present, you yourself working with your own hands. So that is really rewarding. Don't get me wrong, funds are needed. Without funds, most of these charities will not do their work. So they need funds, but they also need hands on. Okay, so that would be that. You know, like bolster your system, your support system. With this, I mean, get in contact with people who have the same ideas like you, people who think the same way like you know, join forces with your workmates, join forces with your neighbors, people in the community, people you work with, people in your club. You know, don't try to do everything by yourself, because the moment you try to do everything by yourself, it means the whole responsibility is on your head. But if you join forces with other people, you know, you find you share the responsibilities as well, and you decide as a group as well. So it does work. It does give you something back. There are some way of doing things. Maybe you wouldn't come up with that yourself, but because you have joined other people, you will find it will be easier for you to say like, okay, well, let's do this as a group, but you know, maybe it's better if we do it this way. And you think, oh, okay, I never thought of that. So there is much more to gain in combining forces with other people and making sure, you know, like you reach the max, you reach the maximum goal, sometimes with much less effort from one person, because as a group, people are working together. Okay, so then there is more to gain as well. That working together, that achieving something, it binds you as a group together. And then it gives you that's like, wow, we made it as a team, as a group. You know, but the team is it's you guys who are doing it. It's you guys who are organizing this by yourselves. And there is no boss who's coming to say, like, you have to do it this way. But careful, you just have to watch out who do you bring on board, who are you working with. You don't want people with their little knives picking your back when at least you are not looking. So you have to choose wisely who are you taking on board with you, so that you get the most out of these groups. They are supposed to be helping, not like be the ones to pull you down. You know, I'll give you an example. Like when I was in German, I was raising my little boy by myself. So what I had to do, because I had to be there, I had to be there to be there. Sometimes, you know, with all these different things I had to do, sometimes it became so difficult with child picking times. So in the preschool where my son was, I grouped up with other people, with other ladies who were in the same situation with me, to say, okay, guys, if I'm not able to go and pick my child, I will call them to say, like, oh, guys, I'm running late. Can they pick the child up? I would pick my child up. And then sometimes, like, okay, I have all the children. You can come and pick them up later whenever you want. Right. So that gave me time to do other things, right? But knowingly that my baby is taken care of. Okay, so find people in your neighborhood with similar situation, because you will speak the same language, right? And if they also needed me to pick the child, they just gave me a call or send me a message and, V, can you pick the children up? And then I'll collect all the children, and of course we had to make it official in the school that if this lady wants my child, please give her. If she just says, can I have the child, she's allowed to take my child. So, you know, like the school, I would say, like, I'm taking this one, that one, and that one, including mine. And there was never an issue. Sometimes I'll just take the children out of the preschool and we'll go in the playground. Children are playing, we're eating our ice creams while we wait for all the mothers to come and pick up their children. Okay, it worked for me. That's just one example. But you look in your own neighborhood. What is it that you can do? What is it that you can do to support yourself in whatever you are doing? Okay, so that's just one. Remember, managing our time and setting priorities will help us get focused and get the most out of us without running around and creating headaches for ourselves. Okay, so that was the starting point, the starting session of this, of our work life balance and stress management. So now we'll go now to the second bit of stress management, where we are talking about, like, what is it that we are saying when we are talking about stress. We have already done the start bit, like, you know, you heard me saying this means if you do this, it means stress for you. If you don't organize your day, your life, as we have discussed before, to say, like, these are the problems, the areas that you need to check, that means you will get stressed. That means you will lose your head, right? I always make a joke out of it. I know, to say, you know what, when I was in Africa, there, growing up there, I never knew that there was a word called stress and that stress would affect me. No, But when I came over here, overseas here, that's when I was like, oh, I'm so stressed. Oh, there's so much that I need to do. Growing down in Zim there, it was like, you know what, you move on, you do what you have to do. There is no this, I can't do this, this is not right. Okay, but well, unfortunately, the word stress does exist, whether it's talked about or whether it's not talked about, it exists. But now it's up to you to look into yourself, reflect properly, and say, how is it affecting me? And what can I do to help myself? Right? Because we can continue in denial to say, like, no, 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 that doesn't exist. Yes, it's our right to do that. We can say that. But because we are saying it doesn't exist, will it stop that from affecting us? Will it? The answer is no. You will still be affected, like it or not. Okay, but when we say stress, what are we talking about? So this will be the next session of this. This will be the next session now. To say when we are saying we are stressed or we have stress, what is going on? How does it feel? Okay. So when we are talking stress, right, it means there are some things that are going on, right, that shouldn't be going on. Well, right. Why is it good to reduce stress in our lives? One, reducing stress level help us function properly, right? It increases our focus and concentration. If we don't have stress, we'll have like higher levels of job satisfaction. We'll have satisfaction, whatever that we are doing. If like we don't have stress, if we are not stressed up, we will participate with our families, whatever the occasions that our families are doing, and we will really be in it. We will really feel the joy of being with the family. All right. And if we are not stressed, right, in our happy mood, and like, we are functioning well, we will take more time to pursue personal goals, pursue personal hobbies, and have a great time and have a great satisfaction doing all this. And we will have improved health, right? So these are the benefits of having, like, a stress-free life. All right. So we have mentioned a few bits here and there. So, but how do we manage this? We have already, like, spoken of setting goals, limiting our times, looking at how we can work more effectively. We have to build resilience and keep a positive attitude. Building with keeping positive attitudes. The more we focus on negative things happening in our lives and how it's affecting us, the more we will get disappointed and frustrated, and that's more stress on our side. Okay. And the more we have to avoid things, or not really avoid, but fix things that are giving us problems in our heads, right? Things that we think like they're causing problems, we have to make sure those things are sorted. Because if we say, like, okay, there's a problem there, and we just push it aside, believe me, it will keep on nagging on our head. So, like, but there is this problem that is not sorted. So you might as well try and fix the problem than just push it away. Because pushing it away doesn't make it vanish. It will still be there waiting for you to, like, someday you will come back and look. Okay. Yeah, we have to maintain, like, the lifestyle. We've spoken about maintaining a healthy lifestyle. Okay, I won't have to repeat that because you've already said that. And then, like, enjoying work and enjoying a good system. That's just like summarizing again what I've just spoken about before. Okay, so if we do this properly, that means we are kind of maintaining that stress-free life that we have spoken about before, right? So, like, these are issues that, but if we do kind of try things right, it will help us sort things out. So when we are talking about stress, we have already said, like, um, it comes in big doses, it comes in small portions, and then they grow depending on what it is. Some things can look like a really mini tiny problem, but because it's not sorted out on time, it starts getting bigger and getting bigger and getting bigger because we are trying to ignore it, right? So instead of allowing those problems to get bigger, let's look into them. Okay. So that brings us to the point where we are talking about symptoms and signs of stress. What are we supposed to look out for so that we know, are we affected or are we not affected? Okay, so we will start with the mental one. There are about five, like four groups here. Okay, so the first group is the mental. You know, are you having trouble thinking clearly? Are you starting to notice that you are having memory problems? You know, you talk to somebody and then you think, I don't remember what we spoke about. We tried to solve this, but all of a sudden it's all, and you honestly can't speak about. Somebody's talking to you, you find you are not even concentrating because your head is trying to sort out something somewhere, right? And somebody's even like talking to you, and then they ask you a question, and you're like, what are we talking about? Because you are actually lost. You've been talking to somebody for 30 minutes and you don't even know what you're talking about. Right? Because your concentration span is very low. You are not even there. You are there physically, but mentally you are somewhere else. Right? You tend to find that sometimes if we are stressed, we make wrong judgments, poor judgments, things that in a normal situation we would say like maybe no ways, never in a lifetime. But because in this particular moment we are so stressed, we would tend to send yes by all means. And then like things happen and you think like, oh, what happened? Where was I? How did I come to do such a thing? Right? Maybe because at that moment you were somewhere else, you were under too much pressure, too much stress. You just said like maybe just no, because maybe you didn't even think about what you say. Okay, so you find like if we are stressed, we are anxious, our thoughts are running everywhere, and but we are achieving nothing. We are just going in circles, and then stress is marching in, or stress is already marched in. Okay, and then you are constantly worrying, trying to figure out things, trying to solve things, but there is this continuous worrying. Yeah, so then you have a big problem there that needs quickly sorting out. Okay. The next line will be emotional. If we are stressed, we get kind of an emotional imbalance. Why are we saying that? We change how we react to different situations and circumstances. Normally, even the most jolliest person, they can become so moody that you look at the person and you think, oh my goodness, what happened to that person? Right? And they can get easily upset or easily hurt. Some things that are normally not supposed to hurt anybody. But because of this person at this moment is too emotional or is just emotional disturbed, they might get upset or be hurt by whatever is said or done to them. Okay, people can get irritable or short temper. So you watch yourself to say like, if are you changing the way you normally react? Are you getting too irritable or even too short tempered for things that are actually not supposed to get anybody angry? And then check yourself to say, what's going on there? Okay. Do you get agitated? Are you agitated? Or are you unable to relax? You can't even keep still or keep calm, right? And then try and look at where is that agitation where is it coming from? What is causing it? You might find out that maybe you are stressed. That's why you are beginning to act that way. There is this feeling of being overwhelmed by things. You know, things that you normally would just like walk over or sort it out without a problem. You might find that you feel like things are becoming extra huge for you to manage, right? And then you are just not in a position to manage all these things that is happening around you. And then you are stressed. Okay. And then there is a thing of depression or feeling depressed, feeling this unhappiness that you just want to close your door and not see anybody, not do anything with anyone. So watch out, take a closer look into that. It can be that really the sign that you are depressed or that like you are under stress. Okay, or enormous stress more than you think you were. Okay. And then the next group will be the physical symptoms can start with tightening of muscles. the body is full of muscles, right? But you find that, like you are so tense, you are feeling so tense, but you can't really explain why. You haven't done really anything that could be causing this tenseness in you, but you just know that you are so tense, right? So this can also be for you a sign to say something is not right. Okay, you need to take a closer look into it to say, where is this tenseness coming from? Okay. um then we'll look at the next bit. Will be, some people will feel the body aching. The whole body, you have pains, it's aching left, right, and center. You didn't do anything really hard. You didn't do any hard work that could be causing that stress, that painful body. But you are aching everywhere. The question is, where did it come from? Take a closer look. It can be that, honestly, that, like you are aching because you are stressed somewhere, right? Or something is causing you to be stressed. Some people vomit, they tremble, they vomit. Some people vomit and they are dizzy, and they can't even explain this. It's not like they've eaten any food poisoning or something, but they're just feeling like that. Okay, so the thing is, what is going on there? We'll have a look into it. uh, some people will have headaches, they will be trembling, they'll be sweating, but they can't really pinpoint where is this coming from, what is causing it. It can just be stress, something somewhere is bothering them, that they just didn't link things together. So watch out for that one. And then some people will have chest pains and will have, like rapid heartbeats. Look into it. Telos Eden, you're welcome. Thank you for joining in. So some people will have loss of appetite. They're not eating, right? And they think like, but I should be hungry. And they can go the whole day, maybe just drinking water, and they'll still be fine. And you see somebody's wasting off, or you are wasting off, and you're wondering, why am I wasting off? The thing is, you're not eating. Why? Why are you not eating? It's not like the food is not nice. The food is still delicious, but because your worries are worrying you so much that you do find like you don't want to eat. Okay, so advice there, even if you are worried, still try to eat it to keep you going. You need that energy. Okay, so some people will not sleep, or will not, like they can just go on bed on time as usual, but they'll be twisting and turning. They just can't shut down so that they can sleep. Some will have bad dreams, some will be running away, some will have nightmares. Okay, it's all because there is an issue somewhere there that was not sorted properly, that is stressing them up. All right, so that would be that on under that things to signs to watch out for under physical. Okay, the next thing will be behavioral. On behavior, what do we do? What do some of us do? Like I said, these are just tips. You look into yourself and look out for some of these. Okay, to say, do you notice these patterns? Do you notice some of these? And then if yes, then start looking into yourself, what's going on, what could be causing them. Okay, so on under behavior, I said some people, I just said earlier on, some people will have a loss of appetite. But under behaviors, some people will eat more and some people will eat less. Some people will eat more of the wrong things. Like if they are such under stress, they will eat that junk food that normally they won't even touch. But because they are so stressed, they will eat anything that comes into their heads just to fill up. But because they don't have that satisfaction, they will keep on eating. And before they know it, they are looking so funny, right? Or they've gained too much weight because they've been eating wrong things at the wrong time. Okay, that's one thing. So, and then some people eat, and so some people will sleep too much, and some people will sleep too little because they are stressed. As I said earlier on, people will have like lack of sleep, and some people will just like, what, I don't want to know, I don't want to see anybody. They just stay in their beds, right? And that's the other side of it. Some where some people will not be able to sleep. Some will sleep like even longer. Okay, if nobody wakes them up, they will sleep for days, just waking up to use the toilet or eat. Okay, and go back to sleep again. All right. Some people tend to isolate themselves from others. Are you somebody who's isolating yourself at the moment? If yes, try and find out why is it all of a sudden you just want to be by yourself. Check what has happened, what is causing that, where is that coming from, that age that you just don't want to see anybody, just want to be by yourself. Look into, take a closer look into that. There is this thing of starting to procrastinate and neglect responsibilities. You just feel like I don't care, whatever. Right? Where is that coming from? What is causing you that? Try and find out that problem that you can address it, because if you don't address it, it will not get better. Okay, so you need to find out what's the source, and then try and sort it out. Then some of us would try to drown our sorrows, our problems into alcohol, into cigarettes, or maybe even take drugs to relax. Bad solution. Alcohol and all these substances. Wrong combination, baddest combination. Yeah, there is nothing as bad as doing that. You cannot combine those, right? Have a sip while you are celebrating. That's okay, because you are associating your joy with drinking because you are merry. That's something good. Okay, I know, sir, those who don't take alcohol, but I would say if you are celebrating, okay, drink whatever you want to drink, right? Except for drugs, of course. But if you are in trouble, if you combine, I am troubled, so I will drown my sorrows, you might end up in trouble, because you know what happens is you drink now, because if you drink now and you knock yourself down, you will forget for that moment. What happens when you wake up? That problem is still there because it's not solved. And what will you do? You will drink yourself again, like knock yourself down again, because you woke up, the problem was still there, and you didn't want to look, so you knock yourself down again. When you wake up again, that problem will still be waiting for you. Knock yourself down again. Before you know it, you are in this circle. You have become yourself an alcoholic or a substance user or whatever it is that you are taking. But your problem is still not solved. So drinking yourself foolish or drinking yourself, knocking yourself down is not a solution. Better you look for professionals to help you. Better you go to your family and say, guys, can you help me solve this? Because drowning yourself in these substances will not help you in any way. When you wake up, when you are sober again, those problems will still be there waiting for you to come back and look at them. Okay, so some people start the habits of biting nails, like biting or chewing on their nails or chewing on their fingers, right? And some can get to the extent of like really um, pulling the nail so that like it's really bleeds. But for them, it kind of relieves that pain thing. Hey, and I would say, watch out for that before it gets too dangerous, right? And then see that you get professional help. All right. Um, and some people will just be pacing about left, right, and center. And you say, like, but what is it that you are looking for? It's just working. They are troubled in their heads and they're trying to figure out what to do. So that's why they are just walking up, right, left, right, and center. Okay. So just make sure, like if you watch out for that, if you see yourself, you are beginning to do that, try and figure out where is this coming from. Okay. So, like I said, these are signs of stress and symptoms. All right. Some things you can help yourself with, whereby you can contact either get medical help, okay, or talk to psychologists. Sometimes it helps you talk to close friends who can help you solve the problems. Sometimes you really have to take medication if the problems have become too big for you. So that way you will need to talk to professionals to see that you get the help that you need. Okay, so there are some things that you cannot just brush off and you think, yeah, now it's done. Okay, so get the help that you need. That's why we are talking about this and addressing these issues, so that we don't just like think we know we can do it. If you can't help yourself, you need help. All right. um yeah, so when we are talking about stress, there are basically two groups. two groups of stress, okay? Or like what they say, causes of stress. There is one that is called the external stress, and there's a second group that is called the internal stress, internal caused stress or self-generated. Okay, so when we are talking of external caused stress, we are talking of things that can happen to you from outside. Right? It's not you yourself generating them, but from inside you, but things that forces around you, in your environment, anyway, things from outside you, outside your personal self. Okay, so we are talking of major changes in life. This can be weddings, getting married, or divorcing. This can be birth of children. All of a sudden, you were used to sleep long, and you have a baby, lovely, sweet bundle of joy that is crying day, night, and center, and you don't know where to start with that. It can be stress pure. Okay. I'm not saying babies are stressed. I'm saying babies can be stress pure. I've gone through my own journey. I know what I'm talking about. Okay. So it can be that you get a good job, and then all of a sudden you think, oh, all these responsibilities, they are too new for me. Will I be able to cope with this? Or the expectations on your job, they've just grown higher up, and you're thinking, oh my goodness, this is not what I signed in for. What they want of me is just too much. That can be also stress, can cause stress. It can be difficulties in relationships. I just mentioned earlier on that people divorce. It's a major change as well. All of a sudden you thought we till death do us apart, and although you are being told, you know what, there is nothing like death do us apart, we are parting now. Okay, so that can be like really something. Or you are a boyfriend, a girlfriend, you think like, oh, we have our time, we are working towards a proper marriage here. That will be our next step, and the other one comes and tell you, sorry mate, I found somebody else and I can't go on with you. That can be something else. Right. Some people, brothers and sisters, family chaos. You used to be a close knitted family. You used to love each other to the bones. But whatever happens, and you want to kill each other. So that can be stressful for some people. Okay. And you used to be like, you used to have money in your pocket. You used to just go in the shops, you buy whatever you want and you go. Because there was no point of looking into your bank account, because you knew your bank account was okay. All of a sudden, that bank account is completely zero, zero, zero. You know, and you are just trying to manage, and you have to live from hand to mouth. You don't know where what is. That can cause somebody really to go mad. Right? Somebody can really be stressed because they don't even know how to handle this situation. Okay. And then if people are too busy, everybody wants something from you. You are running left, right, and center just to please people, or they all want things from you. Right? That can cause stress pure, because you will end up like just trying to just running after one deadline to the next. That can also cause like pure stress on you. Okay, and then children and family, the bundles of joy, right? That can also cause stress sometimes if their demands become too much for you to handle, right? Or if whatever they are doing, or the children are misbehaving, or you, instead of you having all this good news, all you can receive from the loved ones is just like nagging and problems, and that can cause pure stress. Okay, so those, you see, like those are things that are coming from outside. Yes, you are part of the family, you are part of your work community, but it's not you who is creating these problems. These problems are being created for you, so that can cause stress, because it's affecting your balance. Okay, so when we're talking of internal cause, when we talk of internal causes of stress, right? We are looking at the sometimes it can be the inability to accept uncertainties. I just said earlier on, maybe like you have just lost your job. Now you are coming from a certain life to uncertainty. Now you don't know where you'll be going with your life. or things have changed in your life, and you just can't deal with whatever the situation is in your hands, and then that can cause you stress because it's coming from, it's the situation is there that is happening, but it's your inability to deal with this problem that can also cause you stress. Okay, you are looking at yourself and you are thinking, remember, you have just been promoted. Your bosses have given you the job because they know you can do it. And you are looking at yourself and you're thinking, oh my goodness, how dare they do this to me? How dare they give me this? Oh, how will I manage? You are doubting yourself. Why not have confidence in that somebody looked at you and saw you worth getting that position, and go on and cruise? What you don't know, you will learn along the way. And there you are busy telling yourself, I can't, oh, they made a mistake. No, it's you who's talking yourself down. It's you who is doubting on your own abilities. It's you who's pulling yourself down. And this constant pulling yourself down will bring you down. You know, it will not, you are not talking positive of yourself, but you're only looking at the negative, the things that will not help you go forward. That's what you're concentrating on. So that will not be good for you in any way. Okay. And if you like the same applies to talking negative of yourself. Instead of you looking at yourself like, yes, I'm worth it. That's why somebody saw it and they know I can do it. So now I can go out there and do it. And you are busy talking yourself down and looking at all, God knows, all these negative things that you can think of about yourself. So if you are constantly thinking so negatively about yourself, why should everybody else see good in you? At the fact that this is the force coming from inside. So it's you who is pulling yourself down. Okay? And there we are with our unrealistic expectations. Right. Unrealistic expectations can cause us to really get stressed out because what we want, what we expect of people to do for us is not what we are getting. Yeah? Because we have this demand that, that's what somebody else should do for me. Maybe some of those things we can't even do them ourselves for us. So why should we expect that somebody else should do them for us when we can't even afford that for ourselves? Okay, so that becomes a problem because, you can't really channel people and command people around to be doing things for you. Instead of commanding people, try to command people and expect too much of them. Look at yourself and say, what can I do for myself? That way you at least you kind of help yourself. And there are people who are perfectionists. I'm not against being perfect. It's good sometimes, but if it's becomes a chronic, then it becomes a disease. Why? Because you know what? If you are a perfectionist, you have it difficult. Like your standards are very, very, very high, right? Because your standards are very, very high. One, you will find you will be unhappy with yourselves if you don't reach that maximum of what you want to reach. Okay, you will find yourself troubled and angry at every like you have given yourself really your best, but because you didn't make it being the number one, you will always be angry with yourself. Okay, and like you'll find yourself, if you want to be perfect, you will not be able to accept that anybody else can do something good, even if no matter how much and how much good enough, because for you it's not perfect. So that way you are stressing yourself and you are stressing other people. Okay. And yeah, last one on this list will be lack of assertiveness. You don't come up with the thing that this I can do yourself. You are just waiting for people to come and push you around. You just don't wake up and say, today my day is going to be beautiful and best. I'm going to be doing this. I'm going to be doing, like I am blessed. I am going to do something beautiful today. You're just waking up and like, well, whatever. Whether things happen or things don't happen, you don't care. Right? You find, that you can become like a problem for yourself because, you're not motivated in any way. You're just moving like a zombie, just waiting for people to push you around. And mind you, they will push you around. If they just see that, you swing left, right, and center, they will swing you left, right, and center. Okay, so you have to make it a point to be assertive. What can you do? Plan your life, say good things about yourself, and make plans and move forward. Okay, I'm talking of big and small plans. Sometimes you need to start with smaller plans so that you can reach the grow to be able to make bigger plans. Okay, so let's watch out on that. Okay, so basically, how to manage stress is some of the things we've already spoken about them earlier on, but I'm not going to repeat everything. Some of the things like really tallies with what we have said, we have already spoken about in the first stage. But I will just mention a few here, right? What I didn't mention on the first one, to say things to watch out for if you are going to manage the stress in your life. Okay, know your triggers. What are things that will stress you up? If you do know that, then you will be prepared to say, if you start seeing the signs, and then you already have, like your solution of backup solution to say, if I start seeing this is my way out. You have your exit, exit route ready, so that would be, like, if you know the triggers, you avoid, or like you prepare yourself, like, okay, if this happens, this happens, so you will know how to deal with it. You have exit route planned already. Okay, we can talk about that at another time, right? And once you recognize, like I said, that the second point and the first point go together. So once you recognize the symptoms and the signs, and you always work out ways to reduce them, and that means you always have your exit route to say, like, okay, this is coming my way. How do I quickly solve the problem, or quickly divert the problem, so that it doesn't, like, get to be full blown problem? Okay, you can practice relaxing techniques or meditation. This will help you relax. This will help you refocus. This will help you give you more energy. Once you relax, first it will be taking you out of that situation that you are in. And once you have relaxed, you've gone to the base, and it will give you that building up your energy levels again. Okay, with eating well, healthy balance, or healthy life we've spoken about. Let's do some exercises. If you can do, like, a little bit every day, say 30 minutes a day, that will do. And with exercises, you can start when you are sitting, just stretching yourself a little bit. Take 5 minutes break from away, like, to relieve your eyes from the computer. Give yourself a few breaks, and while you are taking that break, you can stretch your neck, stretch your legs. The next time you stand up from your desk to go and make yourself your cup of tea, you are stretching your legs on the way. So at least by the end of the day, you have your 30 minutes. All right. And once you feel like, okay, you need to do an extra, you can go for a walk, or you can, like I said, the easiest one, what you can do at home, you can dance at home, or you can jump on one spot in your house. That will help you. Okay, the sleeping, we've already spoken about that we need good sleep. And yeah, the next thing is very important point is how we think. So on how we think, we have to try and worry less with things outside or beyond our control, right? And where we can, let's make good plans of dealing with things, and put systems in order to help us have control over our lives and over things that affect us. Okay, we should always have a plan B, so to say. All right, and let's set small, manageable, achievable goals. All right, like I'm always saying, these smart goals that we are supposed to do. That let's not try to kill the whole elephant at once, or carry the whole. We have killed our elephant, and then we want to carry it all at once. We won't manage. But sometimes we need to chop this elephant into smaller pieces. Chop this big problem into smaller pieces and handle it one by one. Then we will be all right. Okay. In our lives, we have to learn to have different problem solving skills, and we have to have um, identify which problem solving skill will help, or will help solve a different problem. Because you cannot just say, like, there's one way of solving problems. It's one way fit all. No, it doesn't help. We have to have in our toolbox different ways of solving problems, okay, and apply that accordingly. That would help us. and positive attitude. I won't repeat that, I've said it. And then we have to take time to meditate, take time to think back, reflect on ourselves. Just a peaceful, quiet moment where we're saying it's just us and our thoughts, and just us to shut down, relax, and try and reorganize ourselves, regenerate, like peacefully, not really trying to race around with our thoughts. Okay. Um, we can set up goals for ourselves where we say like, okay, this is what I want to do. And you set targets for yourselves. It's more like you are competing with yourself, right? To say like, this is what I want to do. And when you manage that, you have to see that, like you celebrate that this is my personal aim. It's not you competing with everybody around you. You can never beat them, or they do their own things, because we are all different and we do things differently. But you are setting your own goals for your own self, and then you work them out, and you are developing yourself, right? Okay, one last one under this project, under this subheading of your body, right? Try and use a bit of humor in your own life. We always say, oh, we want to hang around people with humor. Why? Because like humor makes life light. You can actually laugh a big problem, right? And because you are laughing about it, it would help you, it won't make the problem less dangerous or less harmful or less painful, but it kind of or make it go away. It makes it lighter. Somehow it makes it lighter. So let's try using humor on your life. Okay, not if somebody comes and laugh on you, you will be mad at them. But if you laugh about yourself, about some things that you have been doing, it will help you. Believe me, that one works. Okay, so the last one on today's program, right? Oh, I can see my time is gone by, right? Is that let's focus on our behavior, right? On our behavior, like I've mentioned already, planning and organizing well ahead, and giving ourselves enough time to do tasks that will help us. The to-do list, I've spoken about the to-do list, and setting priorities to help you manage these goals accordingly. That will do as well. Being honest and open with people is a great virtue to have. If you are honest with people, they will be honest with you. Of course, there are always other people who are sneaky. I'm not worried about those, because those ones will always be there. But the thing is, if you deal with people sneakily, they will deal with you sneakily as well. But if you're honest with people, they will know when they see you, what you see is what you get, because that's how who you are. That's how you operate, right? But if you are in this business of tricking people, then believe me, it will take you a little while. But once people know who you are, you'll be surprised how quickly you get isolated. Okay, if you are struggling to do things, if like you see that things are not working well, then see that you get guidance, you get support. It can be professionals, it can be from family. See that you get the help that you need. Don't be shy to say, oh, how can I go and ask people to help me? Hi, Vinny, you're welcome. Right. You only get really that big problem if you have been trying to pass for somebody or something that you are not. Then it becomes difficult for you to go and tell the people who really you are. So that's why I say be honest with people. And if you're honest with people, it will be easier for them to help you. And because they will know who exactly they are dealing with. Okay, we spoke already about creating a balanced lifestyle for yourself, and allowing enough time to relax, allowing enough time to be with family. You are at the right time with the right group of people, or at the right time with the right group of doing the right group of activities. Okay, it's you who has to organize this. You know, if you just say like work needs to be done. Yes, money, we all need money. But if you are not careful, you will find out that one department will lack. And if like for those who have families, if you just spend time with your work, you might end up that you end up losing the partner at home. Because this partner is home, you say like, yes, you have all the material things, but I don't have the person that I came to live with. It can be the husband, it can be the wife, it doesn't matter. Right. So I'm saying balance things. If you just take one aspect, if you just say like just at home, at home, at home, and the job is lacking, you will find that you will have a problem at work because they'll say like, we are paying you so that you are working, but you are not working because you are with your family. So you might as well take all the time and go and stay with the family. That's not what you want. So you have to balance things and make sure you can balance things because you are the author of that life. You are the director of that life. It's you who plans things, how you want to do things. So make sure you balance things, right? So we will say, like I mentioned earlier on, this is just like summarizing, right? To say limit your intake of alcohol, caffeine, and other drugs, like just the substances. Limit that. If possible, if you are in trouble, avoid taking any of those. Better be sober and try and deal with your problems, because once you have gotten sober after drinking, that problem will still be there. And before you know it, you will drink again or take whatever you are taking to try and forget. And when you will sober again, that thing will still be there. So for you to be able not to get into that chain to start with, better be sober and try and solve the problems that you are dealing with or you are faced with. Okay, so the last one for today is that reward yourself when you have reached your achievement, big or small. When you have reached that goal that you have set, that milestone that you have set, reward yourself. Go out there, have a good drink, even if it means going and buying yourself the biggest cone of ice cream you can get. Go and buy that for yourself. Treat yourself well because you have worked hard, you have done something good. Okay, you see, if you are happy, the stress will try and stay out of your door. Okay, so this was more from me for today, to say, yeah, let's manage our life. Let's balance our private life and our work, right? Because we need both, right? We need both. Just one of them will not help us, because we need the job for self satisfaction, and we need the job for paying our bills. But we also need our families and our time to relax, so that we create more energy. Okay, so yeah, that was it for me today. Let me see if I have any questions or any comments. Yeah, thank you from Zidane. I thank you as well for watching. No, I don't have any questions. But then, if you do find questions for me, do send them. All right. You can inbox me. You can write them on the platform. I'll answer you as soon as I can. Right. Do send me, please, your feedbacks, or leave for me your feedbacks. I'm growing as well as you're leaving feedbacks for me. And please, last but not least, do subscribe on my YouTube channel. It's called Life Coach Vimbai Chiwuswa. I thank you so much. You have been great, and it's always a pleasure once again. Right? So I'll start with those on YouTube. And so those on YouTube, thank you so much for watching. See you next time again. Thank you.